What is up, LL gang? Welcome back to my channel. If you have not already done so, go ahead and like, comment, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications for all the new and upcoming videos, because this month I plan on doing a ton. It's my birthday month, guys. Aquarius season is in full effect. So with that being said, I do have like a lot of plans for this month, not only for me but for my daughter, because as I told you guys before, we share a birthday. So with that being said, today's video is going to be a story time, just because both of our birthdays are coming up. So I'm gonna kind of like combine two stories into one. Instead of separating it, I'd rather just tell both of them right now. So I'm gonna tell one, how I found out I was pregnant at the age of 17 and how that went for me and my life and my family. And I'm also gonna tell you how it was going into labor on my birthday. And I'll even tell you guys how it is now, like that she is here and we do have to share our birthday every year. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, guys. So I'm gonna start with how I found out that I was pregnant. So I went through a lot with my daughter's dad. Okay, so we actually had just got back together before we found out that I was pregnant. So it had been maybe like a month or no. Yeah, like a month or two, okay? So we got back together right before my senior prom. So we ended up going to my prom together, and he's 2 years older than me. So we went to my senior prom, and then I graduated from high school the next month. It was a month after that. Well, I spent a lot of time at his house, okay? And granted, we're young, so we both still lived with our parents, and our families were really close. So I was at his mom's house, and like we were in his room, he was playing the game, and I was laying down, and I had been sleeping a lot. Like I would be over there knocked out for hours, and like nobody thought anything of it. You know, they were like, oh, it's summertime, she's chilling. I didn't even think anything of it. That's just what I was thinking. Like I did feel tired, but I didn't think as far as I should have, apparently, and neither did he. So one day, his mom came in his room, and she literally, I kid you not, told me, "You're knocked up." And I was like, who, boo? Not me, like, and we just kind of looked at each other, like, I'm like, no, there's no way. So I'm like, why'd you say that? Like, why do you think I'm knocked up? And she was like, you've been sleeping all day, every day. Your boobs are bigger, and you've been drinking water. And that may not seem like a sign to y'all, but I don't drink water, which is totally horrible and unhealthy. But I never drink water. So to her, it was like, okay, you know, just a couple signs. So I was like, okay. And she literally just walked out. Like, she told me I was pregnant and then left the room. And I was like, she crazy. Like, she crazy. She don't know what she's talking about, okay? So he was like, well, you know, let's just take a test to be on the safe side. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, let's take a test, because, you know, there's no way. Like, you just never think that it's like, pregnant? Me? No, like, there's no way. So we go to CVS, we get a pregnancy test, we go back to his house, and I was so scared. I was so scared to look at the test. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pee on this stick, I'm gonna cover it, and I'm gonna leave it here for like 5 minutes, because that's what the directions say. You gotta leave it there for like 3 to 5 minutes, whatever. So I covered it because I didn't want to see, and I went and laid back in his bed, and I was like, you can go look, because I'm not looking. So he comes back in the room with the test, and he's like smiling from ear to ear, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, and he was like, well, let's take another one just in case. And I'm like, what? But the line, y'all, the line was so faint. He was like, well, we don't really know, because look how faint the line is. I was like, no, if there's even a second line, like, I'm pregnant. What do you mean? And so we ended up, did we take another one? I don't know if we took another one or not, but it showed that I was pregnant. Like, the line did come up. It was very faint, but I looked it up and it was saying like something with your urine, if you don't have enough, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But if a line comes up at all, then chances are you're pregnant. So I'm like, oh my God. My heart was like beating out of my chest. The first thing I think about is like, my mom is gonna kill me. Like, my mom's gonna cuss me out. She's gonna beat the brakes off of me. She's gonna be pissed. My whole family's gonna hate me. Like, it was so nerve-wracking, right? So we're, of course, sitting there like, we need a plan. What's the plan? How are we gonna do this? You know, like, we just got back together, but we were willing to, you know, make the best out of the situation. Immediately, we were like, okay, we need to tell our families, we need to book a doctor's appointment, and we're gonna keep this between us until we know everything's okay with the baby. Because I had no idea how far along I was or anything. So it was like, I was in the blind about everything. I still, like, I wouldn't have known I was pregnant until my freaking stomach started growing, probably, because I just didn't even think about it. Like, it just never crossed my mind. So of course, like, after we took the test, we told his mom, because she had already told me I was pregnant anyway. And she was like, duh, I know, like, now good luck telling your family. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I was so scared. So me and him, we're supposed to be going to my parents' house that night because there was some event going on or something. But there was a lot of people at my house, and I didn't want to tell my mom in that setting. So he actually texted my mom and was like, can you please meet us at this park? It was in between. So his family and my family lived like literally 3 to 5 minutes away from each other, like down a straight street. My mom, his mom. So it took like a freaking minute to get to each other's house. So there's a park in the middle. So he was like, hey, come and meet us at this park. We have something to tell you. So she was like, why can't y'all just come to the house and talk? And he was like, no, like, we need you to come to the park. So she comes to the park, and my mom knew already. By the way I was looking, she just looked at me and was like, why? Why? And started crying. And it just broke my heart. Like, she did not cuss at me. She did not hit me. Like, I was expecting her to spaz, but she was just so heartbroken and so disappointed, and she didn't understand it, and that broke me. Like, to see, I've never in my life seen my mom so disappointed in me. She was like devastated, and all she just shook her head and was like, why would you do this to yourselves? Why would you do this to this baby? Like, you guys are not in a position to be parents. You just graduated high school. You're supposed to be going to school. Like, what's gonna happen? So of course, me and him are both like, we can still, like, you know, he's like, I got it. I'm still gonna go to school. I'm gonna whoop-de-whoop. Like, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. And she just cried and was like, okay, so what are we gonna do? You know, we need to get you to the doctor. We need to check everything out. And you need to tell your dad. That was the last thing she said. You need to tell your dad. So I'm like, whew. Okay, like, this one might be tougher than telling my mom. So we go to my house and didn't tell anybody. Still, only my mom knew. So the next morning, I got up and got in the kitchen and I cooked breakfast. I got up and I cooked breakfast for everybody because my brother was there and I had to tell him too. So I like get up and I'm in the kitchen and my music's playing. I seem like I'm just in this great mood because I'm trying to lighten the mood before I tell everybody, hey guys, I'm pregnant, like, yay, you know? So I'm in there cooking and my brother and them are like, yeah, like, thank you. Why are you in such a good mood? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you know, no reason. I just wanted to cook for you guys. Like, just sit down. I'm serving plates and pouring drinks and everything. So finally, I like turn the music down while they're eating. And I'm like, guys, I have to talk to you about something. My dad actually didn't come in the kitchen at this point. I don't know what he was doing, but I told my brother, and he just looked at me and was like, okay, so what do you need? Like, everyone's response shocked me. Like, he was like, Lex, there's nothing we can do. Like, I have your back to the very end. Like, I'm disappointed in you, of course, but what are we gonna do, you know? So I was surprised by that. I also thought, I mean, I knew he was disappointed, but I thought he was gonna cuss me out too. So finally, I got to my dad. He cried and walked away from me. He walked into his room, closed the door, and didn't come out for hours. So eventually I went into his room and I'm like, Dad, like, I'm sorry. Like, I just laid next to him and he just hugged me and cried and was like, I just wanted so much better for you. So it was disappointing to them, the fact that their 17-year-old daughter was pregnant, of course. But I think what made it worse was that I was getting ready to go to college. So I actually was going to Troy University. I had got accepted. I had my dorm ready. I actually was supposed to be rooming with who at the time was my best friend. And originally I said, like, I'm still gonna go to school. Like, everything, everything's gonna be normal. I'm gonna go to school, and whoop-de-whoop. Well, I ended up not going. I stayed home. I withdrew from Troy, and I just didn't go to college. And honestly, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to walk around a college campus as a freshman, big and pregnant. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do like normal college life. I wasn't going to be able to party. I wasn't going to be able to drink. I was going to be in a new environment with none of my family. I was probably going to be depressed as hell. So I decided not to go, which I can't say I don't regret that decision, but it was just disappointing to my whole family because, yeah, I was off to college and then I got pregnant and stayed home. So it just was like a total 180, like, wow, that escalated so quickly. How do you go from I'm going to school and I'm going to be a nurse to I'm 17 and pregnant and I'm staying at my parents' house? It was a hard transition, I think, for everybody in my family. So after getting past my dad, of course, well, actually, we being his family and my family were all going on a cruise. So I found out I was pregnant like 3 days before the cruise. So everyone was like, you can't do excursions anymore. You may not even be able to get off the boat, because at the time that mosquito virus thing was going around and it would like kill pregnant women, all kind of stuff. So, yeah, I couldn't do anything anymore. So I ended up getting a doctor's appointment with my OBGYN the day before we left for the cruise. She confirmed that I was pregnant. I was already 2 months, guys. So when she told me how far along I was, it literally like calculated back to prom night. So I'm pretty sure that my daughter was made on prom night, which is crazy. So I like went to prom, pretty sure I got pregnant, walked across the graduation stage not knowing I was pregnant, and didn't find out for 2 months, and then went on a cruise. So when I was on the cruise, that's when I realized I was pregnant. I was so sick. I had like random bleeding here and there. I just was terrified. I had horrible, horrible, horrible morning sickness, guys. I would throw up anything. Like, I would sip water and throw up, and that went on for weeks. That went on probably until I was about 20 weeks, 25 weeks. I don't know, but it was miserable. That was the worst part about being pregnant. So I actually didn't tell the rest of my family for a while, just because it was hard. And I wanted to make sure that the baby was healthy before I told everybody, because God forbid something be wrong with the baby. It's like, you just kind of told them for no reason. So I just wanted to make sure that everything was good. Well, somehow the word got out that I was pregnant. It got to friends, all of my family, and it put a big separation actually in between me and my family, even between me and some of my friends, just because of the decisions I made, like not to go to school and all kind of stuff like that. But my family was really disappointed, one, at the fact that I was pregnant, and two, the fact that we didn't tell them, we being like, at this point, me, my mom, my dad, and my brother, because they were the only ones that knew. So my aunts and uncles were like, why? Like, we're family, why didn't anyone tell us this, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I wanted to make sure the baby was healthy, but I also was just like really embarrassed, and I knew that they were just going to be so disappointed. And my family's really big on not having a kid before marriage. We don't really have that in my family, so it was disappointing, and I knew that they were gonna look at me differently and think of me differently. So it was hard. It was really hard. It did put a big gap in between my family. Like, some aunts and uncles didn't come to my baby shower or my gender reveal or anything like that, just because they didn't agree with the fact that I was having a baby outside of wedlock. So yeah, that was that. Now, guys, let me tell you that my baby is here. None of them can live without her. They love her to death. She's the best thing that happened to my family. Like, my daughter literally brings everyone together. She's this like huge, big ball of just like love and energy and sweetness. Like, you cannot help but to love Alea. So yeah, my parents, I don't know where the heck they would be if I hadn't had my daughter. Not saying that it was right, but she definitely has changed the way my family loves each other and how close we are now and stuff like that. So it did get better moving forward, but it was really hard to tell everybody that I was pregnant and for me to even find out that I was pregnant. So moving forward, me going into labor on my birthday. So what was her due date? Alea's due date was February 6th. Our birthday is January 27th, right? So when they told me my due date, everybody was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna come on your birthday, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, her due date's February 6th. Out of all the days, she's not gonna come on January 27th, right? Like, it's just not gonna happen. So, at this time, me and her dad were not doing good at all. He actually had moved out. I had no idea where he was staying. We were hardly talking. I was so depressed. I was so ready for her to get out of my stomach. I had a decent pregnancy. Like, after the morning sickness went away, I just was so fed up with everything else going on. I was like, I'm gonna freak out. Like, somebody's gonna have to take me and put me in a hospital and put me to sleep until this baby gets here, because my mind just was going crazy. Because you don't want to be having a baby with somebody and you guys are doing so bad to the fact that you're like, I wish I never done this. You know, like, that's how bad it was. I just was regretting everything. I was so depressed. Oh my God, it was awful. That was one of the worst, darkest times of my life. But anyways, so I had no idea where my baby daddy lived, y'all. No clue. Like, yeah, which is really bizarre. And he lived with us. Like, he moved into me and my parents' house and then up and left and moved into an apartment, and I had no idea where this man lived. So anyways, it's midnight on my birthday. I'm at my parents' house and I'm just like, and my parents, midnight hit, they're like, happy birthday, da-da-da, and like playing music and all this stuff. And I'm just like, thanks, another day, whatever, like, depressed, right? So of course they're trying to cheer me up. So they put on music and they have balloons and all kind of cute little stuff. So my mom's like, get up, come dance with me. Let's dance this baby out, come on. So I'm like, oh my God, Mom, seriously? Like, oh my gosh. So she drags me out of her bed, 9 months pregnant. I get up and I'm waddling around. So she puts on the Cupid Shuffle. And if I can find this video, I will place it in my vlog so that you guys can see. But she puts on the Cupid Shuffle and my dad's recording us, right? So I have this huge belly and she's like remixing the Cupid Shuffle. She's like, push now, push now, push now, push, like, push the baby out. So it was so cute. So we're in there doing the Cupid Shuffle, just me and my mom. My dad's recording us. And after that was over, I was like, I felt a little better, I'm like, okay, at least I have my parents here still. My baby's gonna be here soon. So I just was trying to look at the bright side of things. So anyways, I get back in the bed and I'm watching the video that my dad just took of me and my mom dancing, and I'm laughing. And we're just sitting there talking about the baby, like what's gonna happen when she gets here, and just all kind of stuff. And we're all excited, right? So literally an hour later, I start having contractions. So I'm like, ooh, I'm like, Mom, like, I think I'm having contractions. Oh, wait, backtrack. Before that, I went to the bathroom and my mucus plug came out. I was like, oh my God, I read about this. Like, it's my mucus plug. That means she's coming soon. But they say, like, you can lose your mucus plug weeks before the baby comes. So sometimes it doesn't mean anything. So I'm like, whatever, she's not coming. Well, anyways, I start having contractions. And so my mom's like, you having contractions? So she's timing them. So they're literally a minute apart. So she starts going, gather her little hospital bag, and she literally, guys, got the cutest little shirt to wear to the hospital that said, "Who's your glammy?" Because my mom is glammy. She said that she is not grandma or G-ma or gammy or granny. She is glammy. So she is a glamorous granny, and she's fabulous. I could not do life without her. She is amazing. Thank you, Mom. Mwah. But anyway, so she put on her glammy shirt, and my dad is like, are you shitting me? Like, she's not having a baby. Calm down. So she was like, boy, shut up. She might be. Like, let's just keep timing them. Y'all, my contractions got so bad. So she was like, come on, we going to the hospital. So we get our bags and we get in the car, and it's 2 a.m, right? My dad is running red lights to get me to the hospital, but I was really cool. Like, it was like really, really bad menstrual cramps. So we get to the hospital, they put me in triage, and of course, you know, they have to make sure that you're actually in labor. So they put me in triage, and they look down there, and immediately the girl was like, ooh, we're having a baby. I'm like, oh my God. And my dad still was like, y'all are shitting me. Like, there's no way. He's like, you just danced this baby out. Like, what? He was so confused. So my mom's like, oh my God. So we call my baby daddy. I don't know how long it took him to get there, but he got there. His family came. My brother at the time was in Gainesville going to Florida. So he had an exam that morning. So right after his exam, he like flew down to Pensacola, was at the hospital. I'm not sure if he got there before Lay was born or if he was there a few minutes after. My sister who lives here, her and her husband and the kids got on a plane, flew down. My aunts and uncles were all there. Like, I had a million people with me during my labor. So I was in labor with this girl for 12 hours. They called my OBGYN, and you know, to let her know, like, she's in labor, we need you to get here. She was out of the country. Y'all, I was like, oh my God. Like, but at that point, I didn't care. I'm like, just get a freaking doctor in here and get this baby out of me. Like, I don't even care anymore. Of course, it was this old man with no bedside manner. So I did not like him, but, and he took forever to get there. Like, 11 hours of labor, y'all. And the girl was trying to like help me get her out, twist and lay, helping me push, do all kinds of stuff. Couldn't do anything to get Lay out. That man got there, he did one thing, and Lay was out like that. I'm like, and you finna get paid all the big bucks for all this, and this girl was in here struggling with me for hours. But whatever. But I did not like him at all. But either way, he got my baby out quick, safe. She was healthy. I was okay. Lay didn't come out looking how I expected her to look. So I was like, who baby is that? But now she is absolutely beautiful. She looked like a little alien when she was born, y'all. But she's absolutely gorgeous now. My baby is everything I could dream of and more. She's precious. But yeah, so my labor was as many people that I loved that were there to support me and help me and love on me. As many of them that were there, I was still so sad. I cried, not because I was in pain, and my mom knew it. She was like, just hug me, just hold me. She knew that I was not in pain because of the labor, but because I just was so heartbroken at what was going on with me and my baby daddy. And we were very distant, even during my labor. Like, he kind of sat in the corner with his hood on, didn't really talk me through anything, hold my hand, do any of that. So I just was like, here comes my baby, and look at my situation with her dad. It was so heartbreaking and just devastating, and I just pray that if I ever have another kid, that like my experience is more loving. And I don't mean from my family or his family, but from him. Like, I just pray that the next time I have a baby, well, I will be married. I guarantee you. Like, I'm a firm believer in, like, I messed up, but that doesn't mean I keep messing up. That doesn't mean I go have another baby outside of marriage because I did it one time. No, like, it doesn't mean I can't get it right, and that I can't do better, and that I can't do things right the second time. So I will be married. So my husband, whenever that happens, whoever put a ring on this finger, it's gonna be a beautiful experience, because labor was great. If me and him would have been on good terms, I can't imagine like the love I would have felt, because I started a family. But I didn't feel like I started a family. I felt like I gave him a child and I had a child, and it was him and her and me and her, and there was no us, there was no family, there was no bond, and that was really hard to deal with, guys. So yeah, whenever I have a baby with my husband, I cannot wait to experience how amazing that feels, to have my man hold my hand and my leg and pray with me and talk to me and help me get through it together, because it takes two to make it. It should take two to get it out, because that shit hurts, okay? But now that she's here, I don't really have a birthday anymore. I still cannot believe that she came on my birthday. Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, I don't really have a birthday anymore. And it's hard sometimes, because it's your birthday, right? Like, you want to be able to do what you want to do and plan stuff for you. And I can't really do that. I have to plan like my party and then her party and then something together, because I am still young. So I do still want to do things. I want to do things with my friends, and I want to go out, and I want to do all kinds of fun stuff, because I'm 21. And it's hard, like, trying to balance that, you know, being young and having a baby. And Lay can't come clubbing with me. She can't go out with me. She can't. So it's hard, because like sometimes I still have to tell myself, like, you're a mom. And I feel like anybody my age who has a kid has to tell themselves that. Like, we lose focus of being a mom, and we focus on all the other things, because at this age we shouldn't have to be focused on being a parent, but we make these decisions, and we have to live with them. So it has been a challenge for me to balance her birthday with mine and still try to celebrate myself as well as her. But I can say that I have learned the importance of being a mother, and that she definitely comes first. Like, my baby is my end-all be-all, for sure. I made a lot of bad decisions that I'm not proud of, and have had to live with the hurt of all of my bad decisions. I've gotten so much better. I've gotten so much better, and this year, I don't know what me and Lay are doing for our birthday yet exactly, but it's gonna be great. As long as she has a good day, as long as she is happy, and that she is surrounded by everyone that she loves, my birthday is great. That's where I'm at. Like, last year I was like, oh my God, I have to have a party. I have to do this. I have to do that. Da, 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 da. And while I still want to have one this year, because my birthday's on a Monday, so I have all weekend to do things for her and myself. And if I want to have separate parties, then I can do that. But yeah, so there is my story, my labor story, and my finding out how I got pregnant story. So stay tuned for the rest of this month, because I'm planning Lay's party, I'm planning my party. My best friends are coming out here, guys. I'm super excited for that. I miss them so much. My family should be coming out here. So yeah, it's gonna be super cool. Lay's gonna be in a whole bunch of these videos, and she is hilarious, y'all. Like, if you have not watched my Christmas video with her, where she's just like talking and blogging, she says blogging, mommy, let's do more blogging instead of vlogging, because she's just so cute. But yeah, so she'll be in a lot of the videos, so definitely stay tuned, watch her. Like I said at the beginning of this video, like, comment, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and be part of LL Gang. So yeah, stay tuned for these upcoming videos, guys. Peace.